Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a very special tribute to Hulk Hogan. Today, or this afternoon, rather, we're going to have some stories about Hogan. More tributes are keep pouring in for Hulk Hogan. We also have a story for you about AEW and their refusal to honor or even remember Hulk Hogan. Um, the world is still buzzing about Hogan's passing, who passed away yesterday morning at 71 years old. We're going to talk about Hogan and what Madison Square Garden did for Hulk Hogan. We're going to talk about that and so much more today on this very special streaming of the life and times of Hulk Hogan. So, this is very special for me as a wrestling fan, and I'm going to give this to you this special day. So I want you all to sit back, and if you all have some stories you want to share about Hogan, please do in the chat, and make sure that you like the stream, and of course subscribe, and of course you know how to share it out as well. We have a tribute about Hogan from Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I will read you the tweet that Rock sent out about Hogan. I'm going to read that in verbatim. I'm also going to, like I said, I have a story about AEW and Hogan. I'm going to talk about that, and and a memory that I have in Madison Square Garden that I want to share with you all. So this is all for Hulk Hogan today. It's all about Terry Bollea, aka Hulk Hogan, life, legacy, and wrestling. Here to afternoon for you. All right, welcome back, folks, and good afternoon. I hope everyone is keeping cool in this extreme heat here on a Friday. Um, as you all know, Hulk Hogan passed away yesterday morning at the age of 71 from a massive heart attack due to complications from a neck surgery that he had. Um, Hogan was a figure that polarized everyone. He brought out the best in all of his opponents. Hogan wrestled with moments that we will never, ever forget. And I know a lot of you vilifying him, and you are not going to recognize Hogan. But I'm going to just say this: the past is in the past. He made a mistake, and we have to remember Hogan for what he was in his iconic moments, and that's the way I'm going to remember Hogan. Hogan wrestled on 28 times in Madison Square Garden. 28 times Hulk Hogan stepped foot in Madison Square Garden. And for 28 times, Hogan entertained the audience like nobody's business. Excuse me. And I enjoyed his matches. Now, I didn't go to all 28 of Hogan's matches at Madison Square Garden, but I was a part of some of them. And one of the moments that I will never forget as a wrestling fan was the night when we celebrated Hulk Hogan on Hulk Hogan's Appreciation Night. I was there in Madison Square Garden along with Triple H, along with Jojo Offerman, who at the time was a referee, well, I mean, was the ring announcer for WWE. And we were all there celebrating Hulk Hogan's moments in Madison Square Garden. And I think the Garden did a very classy thing yesterday when they posted Hogan's picture on the marquee in Madison Square Garden. Because Hogan, like I said, wrestled in the Garden for 28 matches Hogan had in the Garden. And that's something that it could never be forgotten. So The Rock, The Rock posted this on X, and I'm going to read it to you. This is The Rock's quotes. These are The Rock's quotes. Rest in peace, Terry Bollea, aka the immortal Hulk Hogan. To the millions of little kids, you were a childhood hero, myself included. In 1984, I gave you your Hulkster headband back in the locker room in Madison Square Garden. I was the lucky kid, caught it when you threw it in the crowd. You were wrestling Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That night in the main event, you were shocked and so happy after the match because you told me that that was your very last headband. And if it weren't for me, you would have no way of getting that exact one made again. You promised me that you could get more made and give me a Hulkster headband of my own as a thank you gift. A month later in Madison Square Garden, you did just that. You kept your word with a handshake and a thank you, kid. And that meant the world to that little 12-year-old boy. Just 17 years later, still a kid at the age of 29 years old, I'm standing in the middle of the ring and facing you, one of my wrestling heroes, in the main event of WrestleMania. If you all didn't remember that, Hogan did take on The Rock at WrestleMania. The match was a decade. Who would have gone down in history as the greatest of all time? You know, I'm gonna tell you this before I continue reading. You know, I never thought in my lifetime that I would have seen The Rock in the middle of the ring mixing it up with Hulk Hogan. If you would have told me that was going to happen at WrestleMania, I thought that you were going to be nuts. I thought that you were going to be nuts. But it happened. It happened. Okay, so The Rock continues. When you kicked out of my rock bottom finisher, just listen and feel that crowd go electric. All for you. I never felt anything like that in my entire wrestling career. It takes two to tango. But that historic crowd reaction was all for you. You drew the house, meaning you sold out every arena and stadium across the country in your prime as Hulk Hogan, on your way of becoming the greatest of all time. From deep in my bones and behalf of the wild and crazy world of professional wrestling that we love, I say to you now and forever, thank you for the house, brother. Thank you for the house. Rest in peace, Terry Bollea, aka Hulk Hogan. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was from The Rock. Very poignant, very personal, and very deep. All right, folks. That was from The Rock. What I'm going to do now, folks, is I'm going to bring up the quote that I did yesterday. If I can find it, I'm going to look for it. Um, yes. Okay, I'm going to give you another quote. Let's see. Dro, let's talk about he was amazing in movies. Yes, Dro. Yes, Hogan was great in the ring, but he was also great on the outside. No holds barred. Who doesn't remember No Holds Barred? Who doesn't remember No Holds Barred? He did that. Hogan was amazing in many other movies. I mean, I believe he was in Rocky's movies. Hogan was. I remember No Holds Barred. I remember him in cartoon. He was in a cartoon. He was mortalized in a cartoon. Yeah. So this was Hogan. He was a total package. Hogan was a total package, and whatever he did, he turned to gold. Hogan, because he was such a polarized figure. He was such a great. He was so great at what he does, and his matches, like I said, are legendary. Um, Dro says, yeah, he played Thunder Lips in Rocky 3. Yes, he was in Rocky 3. Hogan was. Okay, this is what Mr. McMahon said about Hogan. And I read this yesterday, but I'll read it again. Mr. McMahon said on X about Hulk Hogan. He said, and I quote, this is Mr. McMahon's quote: "The world lost a treasure today. Hulk Hogan was the greatest WWE superstar of all time. Someone who loved and admired around the world. Someone who was loved and admired around the world. He was a trailblazer, the first performer who transitioned from being a wrestler, from being a wrestling star into a global phenomenon. His grit and unbridled thirst for success were unparalleled, and it made him a consummate performer. He gave he gave everything he had to the audience who appreciated, respected, and loved. He leaves us with famous expression, one favorite expression: train, take your vitamins and say your prayers. Today we pray for him." That was a quote from Mr. McMahon. So I read you two quotes, one from The Rock and one from Mr. McMahon. So, um, as you know, Fightful Select is reporting and everyone else is reporting that the WWE is scrambling right now at the SmackDown site tonight on SmackDown to pay tribute to Hulk Hogan. There will be video packaging put together by WWE. Superstars that are there live will talk about Hogan and his legacy and what it meant to them and everything else. So there's going to be a big tribute tonight for Hulk Hogan on SmackDown, and we hope that you all will join us for that. I will be on the air for SmackDown tonight at 7:50 Eastern Time, and it's going to be an emotional night for the WWE and its superstars and its staff as they pay tribute to Hulk Hogan tonight on SmackDown. Okay, so let's move on. Um, let's talk about AEW. AEW and the fans are really seething over AEW's handling of the Hulk Hogan situation. They're taking heat online, is AEW, after they completely ignored Hulk Hogan's passing. Fans are calling out Tony Khan and TNT for not paying tribute to the WWE Hall of Famer. While nearly every major wrestling company, including WWE, TNA, NWA, and GCW, honored Hogan's legacy, and AEW has stayed silent, and fans are not having it. Bro, hey King, how's it going? I hope they won't boo on Hogan tonight since he's gone. Yeah, King, I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't do that. I really hope they don't do that. Um, so the fans are not having it. Okay. This is why AEW is not honoring Hogan. Okay. The backlash has come as many of you recall, AEW president Tony Khan 2020 decision publicly banned Hogan from all AEW events. At the time, Khan made his stance clear, citing Hogan's past racist remarks and lack of genuine apology. So Tony Khan said this, and I quote, when he said on tape long before George Floyd, I've told people I can't work with Hulk Hogan. How can I look at my black friends, football players, and employees in the face, or myself in the mirror after the things Hogan said and has never given an adequate apology for? He can't blame what he said on tape on dangers of social media. So that is what Tony Khan said. That's what Tony Khan said. The controversy traces back to leaked court sealed tapes that captured Hogan using a racial slurs, tapes that surfaced during a high profile lawsuit by Gawker. The fallout led to Hogan's 2015 contract termination and major stain on his legacy. Okay. So, despite AEW's refusal to engage, fans are demanding a basic level of respect shown on on the fans on fans blasting TNT silent. At TNT, pretty classy, says one person on Twitter. Classless. Pretty classless, not to mention the passing of Hogan, considering what he did for your network in the 90s. Yeah, well, I do agree with that. I mean, Hogan, WCW and all of that. Um, Another fan addressed Khan directly, insisting that the personal feelings should be put aside. I would agree with that as well. The past is the past. Listen, I said this last night on my show. Everyone has a past. Everybody has a past. We all are not perfect. None of us are. We make mistakes. Sometimes it's monumental, sometimes it's little. But we made mistakes. We're not perfect. None of us are. None of us are. And we should not keep roasting people over the coals over it. It happened. We can't take it back. We can't pull it back. Hogan should be remembered as a man who did movies and he bled, sweat, and tears in that ring. And that's the way we should remember Hulk Hogan. Not for what he's done in the past, not what he's done, but what his contributions were to the ring and to the world, and how he transitioned from that night in Madison Square Garden to defeating the Iron Sheik to now. His legacy, his moments in that ring should be the only thing that we should remember and respect from Hogan. And that's it. That is it. Nothing else. Nothing else matters. The past is the past, and let's leave it where it is. And that I agree with. No graphic about Hogan. Would would you be there? Would you be here today if he didn't pave the way, regardless of what you think of him as a person? He's bigger than that. So that's one fan said to Tony Khan. A third fan, even harder, accused AEW of cowardice. Still waiting for you all to pay respects to Hogan. Stop being effing cowards. A longtime AEW supporter shared their disappointment. Not acknowledging the greatest of all time, Hogan, is absolutely classless. And I've been following AEW since day one. Pull your head out of your ass. Okay, so these are some of the quotes from the fans. Khan issued with Khan's issues with Hogan's family doesn't stop with Hogan. In June of 2020, during a Black Lives Matter protest, Linda Hogan tweeted a comment blaming African Americans for looting. And then Khan responded, "You've now joined your husband in being banned from all AEW shows. Congratulations." So Khan responded to Linda Hogan's tweet. All right. AEW has earned praise in the past for offering platforms to utilize WWE talent such as Jericho, John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Adam Copeland, Swerve Strickland among them. But their cold shoulder towards Hogan is drawing new level of criticism. While Tony Khan's commitment to AEW's values is firm, the wrestling world is watching closely to see if eventually acknowledging the man who helped shape the industry as we know it. Wrestling fans are divided. Some back Khan's stance, while others think it's time to separate the performer from the controversy, even if it's just for one moment of respect. Pretty classless, not to mention the passing of Hogan, considering what he did. Yeah. No graphic about Hogan. You wouldn't be here today. So people are are visibly upset, and rightfully so. I mean, Tony Khan. Oh, look, some AEW guys with decency. So some, at least the Bucks. I believe this is the Young Bucks. Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks said this on Twitter. about Hogan, and he said, I quote, would never have been a wrestler if I didn't launch the Hulkster. Always so kind to me, my family, and made videos for my son that we will cherish forever. So gracious, even when nobody was watching. Okay, so that is what can't thank you enough for all you did for me and for wrestling fans all over the world. I love you and I will miss you. That's what somebody said on Twitter. So Matt Jackson did come out and say something about Hogan. So he was only the only one. And somebody on Twitter says embarrassed that I owe an AEW shirt, an AEW T-shirt. It will be rectified shortly. I assure you. You all damn low. Over, yeah. Very disappointing about AEW has ignored the death of Hulk Hogan. A lot of fans, a lot of fans are showing their displeasure. No acknowledging the greatest of Hogan. Yeah. So fans are really and truly upset with AEW here, and this. So one fan says on Twitter, it's probably some lefty lunatic AEW has hired to run this account. Pretty sure on Saturday, once Jerry Lynn, Jeff Jarrett, and Sanjay Dutt Taz meet Tony Khan, they will let him know. Okay. Hogan's passed, and there would be no AEW without no AEW. Hogan did what everyone else is doing. Say something for him. So these are some of the fans' displeasure on X, and they're telling Tony Khan to come on now. So William M, how you doing? Hey brother, much love. What's love to you, William M? Thank you for popping in, and make sure you subscribe and like and share. Thank you. And what Oh, skyscraper. Oh, I offer the condolences and family to his family, and that, as far as I can go, as a black man whose family history has dealt with lynching and racial epithets back in the 20s, who has been called the N word in my face, I worked race issues are an extreme touchy subject for some people to obituary discard this past is harmful and demeaning. Um, for some people to arbitrarily disregard. Yeah, well, thank you very much, Coach Ed, for that. Coach Ed popped in and he thank you for your comment. Um, I'm not discarding what Hogan has said in the past. I'm not doing that. But what I am saying is that yes, I know it's a touchy subject, and I know some people are sore about what Hogan did. I mean, I was offended too. I was offended, and I was deeply disappointed in the language that was used. And but for me, as a wrestling fan, I understand. I understand. I have to put my feelings aside. And I can't sit there and not talk about Hogan. I can't sit there and overgloss what he has done to the business. I can't do that as a wrestling fan. I understand people are angry, and I understand there's both sides of the coin, and I see the both sides. I mean, I've been through racist stuff myself. I've been through a lot. I've been discriminated against a lot of times. But the thing is that it doesn't bring down the value of the person who has done so much more in the contribution department. And yes, he has a past and everything else. And I understand. I understand. I understand complicitly. Um, hey, David, how's it going tonight, David? How's it going? Yeah, NWO for life, brother. Yes, William. Absolutely. Yeah, I still can't believe he's no longer with us. Yeah, William. I still, it's hard to wrap my head around that. It's hard to wrap my head around it. So, so those are some of the things, folks, that um that happened, that people are saying on Twitter and other social media outlets on the life and times of Hulk Hogan. So, like I said, tonight on SmackDown, they're going to pay a tribute to Hogan. Um, David says, Earl, all the legends are gone way too early. Yeah, I agree, David. I agree. I am beyond shocked when I heard the news yesterday afternoon. Yeah, I was shocked too, William. I was I was shocked as well. I just couldn't wrap my head around the whole thing. And as I said, I was there when Hogan won his first championship in Madison Square Garden against the Iron Sheik. I was there for Hogan when Hogan returned to the Garden for Hulk Hogan Appreciation Night. We were there for that. We honored Hogan. As I said in the outset of this stream, Hogan wrestled in Madison Square Garden 28 times. He wrestled in Madison Square Garden 28 times, and each time he sold the place out. Each time he walked in the Garden, he walked in that Madison Square Garden, those hollowed halls, and he sold the place out. And he performed. He performed and performed well. And and like I said, tonight they're going to honor him on SmackDown, and it was very classy of Madison Square Garden to put Hogan's face on that marquee yesterday. And it was a very classy move by that arena. I love Madison Square Garden. It's been my home. I've been there so many times for iconic moments of wrestling, and Hogan Hogan will be missed. Um, I saw him live in Johnstown, PA, at a show in 1997. Well, that's very good, William. That was good. I saw Hogan wrestle SummerSlam in the Philadelphia Spectrum. Who doesn't remember that? Earthquake, him and Earthquake, SummerSlam. Hogan, I remember the Mega Powers and SummerSlam in Madison Square Garden, where Miss Elizabeth took off her dress and showed her bikini to yeah, I saw him in TNA. Yep, everybody's seen him in TNA, AEW, I mean NWA, NWA, WCW. Who doesn't remember when he did that famous leg drop on WCW TV and he was Hollywood Hogan? Larger than life. Yep, absolutely. William, man, Hogan was larger than life. He sure was, William. He sure was. He sure was. Um, so yeah, so those are my memories of Hogan. Those were my thoughts on Hogan. And like I said, tonight on SmackDown, we're all going to get together again. I'm going to be live with SmackDown tonight at 7:50 Eastern Time. We hope that you'll join me for SmackDown, and we're going to give you the tribute to Hogan on SmackDown. Plus, we're going to give you SmackDown's action. Plus, we're getting ready for SummerSlam. As you know, Monday night we're going to get ready for the go home show for Monday Night Raw, and I'm sure Monday Night Raw I'm sure Monday Night Raw will play tribute to Hogan as well as SmackDown will tonight. Um, just I'm just beyond heartbroken. I am too, William. It's it's tough. It's tough. I just have no words now. I know. I know. It's tough. It's tough, William. It really is. Um so folks, that's the story on Hogan, and like I said, the tributes are pouring in. People from Twitter, X, professional sports people, even outside of wrestling, is talking about Hogan's passing. And yesterday, Michael Cole was on. He was on ESPN, and they were interviewing Michael Cole, and he says about all the moment. He was talking about his moments with Hogan and everything else. So I'm sure on Monday night in Detroit, when we get to Detroit, Michigan, and the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit will host Monday Night Raw go home show. Um, they will definitely do a tribute there on Monday Night Raw on Netflix for Hulk Hogan, and I'm sure they're gonna put that show together and everything. And uh, uh, learn, brother. Yeah, Coach Ed, thank you for your comment. Coach Ed says, learn, brother. I respect you as a big fan of wrestling, and you look at it and and forgive Hogan for his statements. I don't begrudge you in any way, shape, or form. But I had a discussion today with my white wrestling fans and some in the '70s who says that me who says to me, I need to let racism go. I'm sorry, but no, I'm not letting it go. And unfortunately, there are too many Caucasians who subscribe to this I- ide- ideology, ideology, where the empathy is. And you are alluding to seeing things from both sides. Again, condolences. Yeah, I try to see things, Coach Ed, from both sides. I don't. I understand about your beliefs and what you believe in and what other people believe in. And yeah, racism happens all over. But you know something? I'm just gonna say something. Isaac, Earl, God bless you, brother. I love your channel and all that you do for the pro wrestling community. Thank you so much, William. That is really heartfelt. And thank you, William, for that. God bless you too, William. And yeah, God bless you too, William. And thank you. Um, uh, Listen, I respect wrestling and I respect the business and I respect our community and I respect everyone's opinion. And I understand there are four subjects that we all have to soldier on with, and we have to embrace it. But then you have the other coin. You have the other coin. And the other coin is this. Everybody, not everybody, but some people, I'm going to take that back. Some people, some people are closed minded to other people's um, beliefs and what they believe. I believe in everyone, and I believe in looking at both sides of the coin. I've been discriminated a lot, many times over as a person. But you know what? I just think that there are people that are not raised. Everyone's raised differently from us. Everybody. When I look at friends, I don't look at color. When I look at wrestling fans, I don't look at color. I see a rainbow. I see a rainbow of community. I see a rainbow of common goal. And that is that we all are here for each other. We're here to lean on each other because wrestling is an escape. That's what wrestling is. That's what Hogan did for wrestling. He made us an escape. He made us go into his world and escape from the hatred, the brutality, the world of unevenness. That's what Hogan did for this country. That's what he did for this world. He gave us a slice of Americana. He gave us a slice of escapehood from people who are closed-minded, who are bigotry, who want to tear you down because they don't understand your road of a journey. And I always say all the time, don't tear somebody down that you will never understand or never get. I always believe in love, peace, and happiness. I always believe in positivity, not negativity. I try to drown out radio noise all the time because I know that this world is not perfect. I know there are people in this world that are not for what we believe. And I know that I have an escape umbrella, and that's wrestling. And that's what Hogan was about. Wrestling. Giving the fans something that they can believe in. Giving the fans a world that we can escape to. I'm proud to be a wrestling fan. I'm proud to be an American. And I'm proud of the community that I belong to. Folks, thank you so much for watching this presentation of this stream. I'll be back tonight at 7:50 Eastern Time. Let's go back to the chat before I go. I love pro wrestling. I love it too, William. I love it. Same here, Earl. Agree with you 100%. Thank you, William. Thank you so much. I am with you on that, brother Earl. Thank you so much, William. Thank you. I'm also heartbroken over Sabu. I am too. I am too. Thank you for all the emojis, William. Thank you. So, folks, that's going to do it for me on this afternoon. I'll be back tonight at 7:50 Eastern Time for Friday Night SmackDown. When I go live, make sure that you like this video. Make sure you comment and subscribe and share out this video. Hogan will always be a Royal Rumble winner. Absolutely, Dro. Absolutely. Folks, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for me. I want to wish everyone a very happy afternoon. Stay cool. Drink plenty of liquids. Keep hydrated. The heat of the summer is here. And we want you safe because we want you to come back. I'm Earl Gold. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you tonight at 7:50 Eastern Time. So long, everyone.